But definitely want to jump into this real quick, y'all. I know y'all probably seen over the weekend, man. Sauce Walker, well, not even Sauce Walker, man. Mexican OT. Mexican OT, man, had a what was it called? Johnny Dang.
Yeah.
Yeah, he had a nice little record, man. He still got some records, obviously,
Yeah, he's
from what
still
I'm
doing his
seeing.
thing out there in Texas, man. The world ain't caught on to it like it should yet, but
Yeah, it ain't
shout
caught
out to
on just
Mexican
yet.
OT.
But he did I think he was on Angela Yee in them podcasts. And he was up there, man, and they were just asking about, his life and growing up, being a Mexican, especially him being a Mexican and, Houston, coming from Houston, man. And that's big right now, man. Like, there's so many debates going on with ICE, you know what I'm saying, with the, whole thing with, Trump, the Hispanics, it's more to ICE than, like I say all the time, it's more to ICE than, one nationality.
Yeah, they just think they're picking up a whole bunch of Mexicans. No, it's not, bro.
Yeah, it's about illegal immigrants, man.
Yeah.
Anybody illegal. But they asked him about the N-word because that's been heightened right now as much. I mean, it's been heightened like a mug right now. Do you feel, and I was going to ask you about that, man. They asked him, like, do you feel that you can say the N-word? Or you feel it's okay for, being a Mexican man, do you feel like you can say the N-word? And he was like, I mean, I don't say it like that, but like, who gonna stop me? Who, if I did, like, what you gonna do about it? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And it was taken Duffy, in the wrong context for. I ain't even gonna speak on the world, but for me, you know what I'm saying? As a fellow NIGGA, you know what I'm saying? Like, I wasn't feeling it.
Yeah,
I felt disrespected, to be honest.
I wasn't feeling it either, bro. Like I say, I know something that's mixed. That's cool. You know what I'm saying? But if you're gonna be around me or come on this podcast, bro, like I say, man, I'm not going for that. I'm gonna check that up front. You know what I'm saying?
It ain't about him saying
bro.
that's not about him saying the word. It's about, because I got people around me that are not black. I have people around black that's use the N word. So I can't say that you know what I'm saying, I ain't never heard nobody around.
I'm talking about on my platform. If you just talking about just out in life, of course we don't. We you know what I'm saying, we was raised with.
Nah, that ain't what I'm talking about though. That's what I'm saying. Like, I done had people around me. I can give a care if you use the word. You know what I'm saying? If you're a part of something that makes you use the word. If you grew up using the word, you have family, whatever, man. You basically tied into that community. I can't really motherfucking like police you using the word. What the problem is and what everybody's stance is right now is his basic way of going about how he would do it. Like, what you gonna do about it? That's the problem. That's the problem with everything. But like, I don't think nobody has an issue. I mean, some people do have an issue with him using the N-word. You know what I'm saying? Some people have an issue with it, but I don't think that's not the outcry right now.
No, I mean, when I seen old boy Sauce Walker see it, I seen he had seen it in the same context I had seen it.
No, he seen it in your context. He seen it in the context.
He
seen it in the context of niggas. Like, he ain't seen it in the same context that I seen it in. Cause the people down in Houston or just in Texas in general, they more cool. I ain't gonna say they more cool because we have a cool, you know what I'm saying, relationship back home in Michigan as well. But Texas, they have a very different, difference between how they interact with Mexicans and stuff down, how Mexicans and black people interact.
Oh no, it's very different.
They feel that they all is one, and like I said, they should be all is one. But you know what I'm saying? Like, when Sauce Walker first spoke on the situation, he didn't have a problem at all. When he doubled back and listened to, I guess, the full conversation, that's when he was like, nah, bro, you can't, you know what I'm saying? You in a room full of women and say, in one room full of women, and you basically gonna say, hey, who gonna stop me from saying the N-word?
Yeah. Cause that's crazy, bro, just to be in the room and just say that just pop out in the room full of niggas and you just be like, hey, who gonna do something though about it? Because now, even though it ain't an issue, it's kind of like a challenge. Like, wait, we cool when you with a nigga, but not like that.
You challenge somebody to, if they gonna say, if it was if it's a slur, because in the N-word was originally as a slur that black people took and flipped and made something that we can use as our own. You know what I'm saying? But if somebody took a Hispanic slur or a white slur, and you know what I'm saying, they using it, and you say that do you use it, whatever? And he say, or if somebody asks me like, hey, yo, do you use this word, the C word for white people? Just say that. They sometimes people call that. If somebody say, do you use that word, and I don't answer, I say, who gonna stop me if I did say it? It's like, you know what I'm saying? Like, It's like you start and you basically challenging it already from the beginning.
Yeah, that's like saying and puffing your chest out. Like, nigga.
Like, if
what?
I did say it, what you gonna say about it?
What's up?
You know what I'm saying? If you know, for the most disrespectful thing you can call a Mexican. Like, if I say, man, if I did say it, what you gonna say about it? It's like, bro, we ain't even on that. We just asking, do you say it? You know what I'm saying? If he could have just answered it a whole better way.
Totally better, because it's like, if you gonna say that, I can't be mad if one or two or all niggas be like, what you gonna do about it? Nigga,
Yeah,
like, we give you a pass. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, some people give
And that's what it
you know.
is. You know, we give you a pass for when you raised, and Sauce was like, your brother is half black, so it's kind of like, bro, you know what it is.
Yeah. I mean, like I said, you ain't gotta have even the brother black. You just, like I said, if you come from that community, I'm not gonna be the person that police you from saying it. Now, if you using it wrong, you can tell when somebody using it to be cool and somebody using it because it's just a part of they everyday language. You know what I'm saying? That's how they grew up. You know what I'm saying? Like, if they ain't got nothing else to say, bro, and they using, you know what I'm saying? Like, that you can just sense it. You can smell it on the person.
Yeah.
But my other question, man, was, how do you feel about the N-word being used by anybody that's not black?
I feel like, man,
I pretty much already said my stance on it, because you kind of already pushed me to it.
how I feel about people that's using the word that's not black, bro. You talking about the industry or just in general?
Come on, anybody, man.
Bro, I just think, bro, it's just not cool. If you're not of black descent, bro, I just don't view it as cool. And that's just me. That's just how I was raised. Now, be it, I have been raised around other races that's, like you say, been raised in the hood all their life. And I'm not mad. I'm not finna be that nigga Farrakhan about it. You know what I'm saying? It's just not, that's not my preference. I prefer.
If you stay around, if you grew up with me and you stay in the hood, or if, like I said, I know you come from that background, you can, I mean, I ain't gonna say you can say it, because like I said, I'm not the police of it, but it just may not bother me as much. But if you come around me, if you have never came around me, I don't know you from, a can of paint, I wouldn't advise to use it, just jump out and just use it. But if that's what you come from, it's going, like I said, man, it ain't on you, it's in you.
Yeah, and then like I say, it's the way you use it. I don't been around people that use it too much, and I'll be like, all right, bro, it's cool. Like, shout out to my barbershop. They're my people, man. But sometimes I go in there, they might have that barber too that's sitting there just throwing that mug, and I'll be like, damn, bro. It's usually the young. I'm like, damn, bro. Like, I'm cool, but I'm not cool, because it's like, yo, it's being too much. It's like you just saying it in every other sentence. Like, when you saying it more than me, then I'm like, I don't care what you is. Like, it just become annoying to me, bro.
I mean, that's a touchy subject, pretty much like I said, man. It's depending on how you grew up, where you come from, what side of the United States you come from. It's all, you know what I'm saying? Because, like, if you come from Fargo, North Dakota or whatever, you know what I'm saying, I wouldn't expect you to be using that. I wouldn't expect, you know what I'm saying? Like, I wouldn't, think of being your you know what I'm saying? But as a person that's not black, I should say.
Yeah. And a lot of the people that I know been raised in the hood, and they don't even use it, but it's just like, because they got respect for you, they don't even be like, yo, I was raised in the same trenches, but I ain't gotta say that though.
Yeah, some people don't have to say it. Like I said, where I come from, it's a everyday, or just a common language, in there. But I will say this though, because people will say, hey, why don't we all just stop using it? I mean, that's simpler said than done, because like I said, it's been in our language for forever. And, like I said, man, I feel like once we take something and make it our own, who's to tell us to stop using something?
That's why they want to use it so much, because of, like I say, our culture, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like, we the most, like you say the other week, man, we the most forgiving culture, most welcoming culture.
Most welcoming and most
so when we walking around, they see us, my nigga, my nigga, whoop, they want that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So we don't basically decriminalize it and made it cool, so that now everybody is just using it. You know what I mean?
It's one for the books with that one, man. We in a
it's iffy.
It's a time right now that we in, especially with everything going on with politics. So we shall see how that shake out, y'all, man. Everything going on. Definitely shout out to Sauce Walker, for definitely stepping back and speaking to the young brother. And shout out to Mexican OT, man. This is a learning experience, man. You can learn from this.